Welcome to another dope episode of HKW Breaking Ground, episode 7, and we are now 3 episodes away from our first ever pay-per-view battle tested. Okay, champ, playfully says Twister's best friend and tag team partner Scott Storm. Twister, glad to see his partner, welcomes him back. Storm congratulates Twister on becoming the world champion and is looking forward to chasing the tag team titles with him. Twister agrees. Deadly Whisper's Sakura addresses the frontliners coming out after their match. You call yourself frontliners, but all you did was stay all the way in the back. Why do you say you come and get a real close-up look in the match? Akira then whispers, my fault. That means mess around and find out for all you slow marks out there. Frankie Fox, dying for a title shot, addresses Strong and Sexy. I understand you're scared to face us, but either way, you need an opponent for battle tested if you make it past your match tonight. Tell us what we need to do to get that match. Breaking ground! It's that time of the week and I'm glad you're tuned in. It's time for storytelling, stories told in a cube ring. Yeah, we breaking ground, that's just sort of our thing. Making stars out of cars, all trying to get the pin. Body slams and suplex, don't get hit with a super kick. Thunder chops to the chest, anything for the win. Yeah, this is HKW, so stick around while we break ground. It's what I would do. This is breaking ground, this is breaking ground. This is breaking ground, this is breaking ground. This is breaking ground, this is breaking ground. This is breaking ground. This is breaking ground. It's ground breaking ground. This is breaking ground. This is breaking ground. This is breaking ground. It's ground breaking ground. This title match is a result of the 5-week mandatory challenge rule for world titles in HKW. Leon Lovecraft selected Phil and Jace because he thinks this will be an easy win for El Diablo and Revenant. Turns out it wasn't as easy as Leon assumed it would be, but Lovecraft and Hate left no doubt who the superior tag team in this match was. They reminded everyone they are the champs. Though Phil and Jace weren't an actual threat to the titles, there are a plethora of other tag teams that could get the job done. But tonight, after a powerful display, Lovecraft and Hate are still your HKW tag team champions and will be walking into battle-tested pay-per-view as such. Next up is some women's singles action with BECCA taking on the debuting SAVANNAH DEXTER. SAVANNAH is another one of my personal projects and someone who, like Travis Baker, barters labor for in-ring time. BECCA couldn't care any less how green Dexter is and went right after her. She was going to make an example out of SAVANNAH, even though I'm not sure how impressive that message is. BECCA has a huge chip on her shoulder from always being second best to LOLO. Her whole life has basically been whatever she could do, LOLO could do better. And here they are in a brand new promotion and Lolo's already won everything. But BECCA too was also undefeated, and she swore to herself that she would not lose before LOLO. Another victory makes BECCA 2-0 and will most likely get a match at Battle Tested. With all this action heating up, it's hard to fit all these hungry competitors into one show. It's kinda got me thinking I might need a dark show. Might be something I consider after Battle Tested. I say that because cool-ass Percy Reeves is a dope talent and I haven't really been able to get him booked. He was hoping to make some noise during the grace period. Sorry, Perce. Now you might recognize Joey Rivera. He did some acting and appeared in some local films that actually got some buzz. He even won an Indie Film Award for Best Actor or something like that. He's a lifelong wrestling fan and has some high school and college amateur wrestling in his background. It should be interesting to follow him on his journey as an inspiring combat sports entertainer. Percy, always want to make the most out of the least, puts on a pretty impressive singles debut and picks up the victory. Percy thinks to himself, I'm on my way, baby. Where are my angels at? Goliath, backstage with his brother Samson, cuts a promo and lets SBS know that if he wanted a match, he didn't have to get all uncivilized and attack him from the back. He would have gladly given SBS a match. Goliath continues, but since you want to play games, SBS, here's a game for you. I'll give you a match at Battle Tested if you beat Samson in a match next week. But if you lose, I want you completely off the pay-per-view. No bonus for you. Deal? I guess it's all up to SBS now. The last time we saw Motherland's finest was in a losing effort against LOVECRAFT and HKW'S for the tag titles. They are hoping to start a winning streak tonight against the debuting Ride or Die. And it was looking like the finest were gonna do exactly that. Russell Cooper was spectacular. This is another guy I see being a contender for all titles eventually. But things take a turn for the worse when Terrence enters the match. Ride or Die is able to get and keep the upper hand and end up pulling out a victory on their first night out. Motherland's finest now falls to 0-2. With a win here, Rage would become the first ever HKW ranked competitor. It would literally give him next for either the internet title or the world title. He would be in this position until other competitors become ranked. Win or lose, Revenant would no longer be able to avoid Rage. Christian of the Trios tag team Terrible Gentlemen is well aware of this and would like to play a bit of a spoiler and give Rage his first loss, turning his big eligibility into a bittersweet moment. Outside of his win over El Diablo, if Rage can beat Christian, this would be just as impressive as accomplishment on his current streak. Christian was impressive and we can expect to see more of him down the line, but tonight was all Rage. And at 5-0, Rage is our first ever ranked competitor and currently the #1 contender for all singles titles. After a pretty grueling match, Rage informs Revenant that since he didn't announce an opponent for his upcoming mandatory title defense, he could technically force a title match before Battle Tested. Rage continues, "Instead, I will be challenging you for the internet title at Battle Tested," continues Rage. "And at Battle Tested, I'm taking the internet title from whoever I face. But Revenant, I'm really hoping it's you. You and Leon have made me jump through hoops. Well, I'm the first and only ranked talent in HKW up to this point, and that makes me undeniable. Shine that title up nice for me. I'll see you in 3 weeks at Battle Tested." Angela lets everyone in the arena and watching at home that all they deserve is just enough, just like the fans are used to doing in their personal life. Azra agrees and asks that why should they give their all when no one else around them does. Angela says that she knows everyone wants to see them go up against PERCY'S Angel or Team WoW. But why? What have they done to deserve title shots? Nothing. Azra, tired of PERCY'S Angel crying for a title shot, says that they don't duck anyone. They just follow the rules and use them to their advantage. Angela agrees and adds, "How about this? We were thinking Team WoW would make a great match for Battle Tested. But since they don't deserve anything, how about the winner between PERCY'S Angels and Team WoW get a shot at the titles at the pay-per-view, Battle Tested? Say less. That sounds good. Match booked." Before we could focus on the women's tag title match at Battle Tested, Strong and Sexy had a mandatory title defense to take care of. So, early on in the week, they asked me to book them against a tag team they've beaten up and down the indies. Unable to find them, Strong and Sexy settles with finding them a tag team that was green and still learning the ropes. I gave them the Indies Tag Team Rookie of the Year, Heart Condition. Not what they were hoping for, but Strong and Sexy was still able to get the job done. They had to work a lot harder than they wanted to this close to the pay-per-view, and I'm sure I was gonna hear about it. PDG begins his promo by letting everybody know that come Battle Tested, he will be walking away the new HKW World Champion. Twister, I got to admit, I respect what you've accomplished so far in HKW. You were the most dominant competitor at the Mega Clash, eliminating 8.5 competitors, a mark that may stand a very, very long time. And then, you went on to win the title, although it was due to some shenanigans. We then see Twister on the Megatron. PDG, I appreciate your kind words, and yeah, you could say there were some shenanigans in my world title win, but I then proved it wasn't a fluke by giving SBS a rematch and retaining. Oh, isn't this grand? PG cuts back in. Interesting that you felt the need to butt into my promo just to say that. PG continues. But, as I was saying, regardless of how much respect I may have for you, I'm the top dog in HKW, and I'm taking that title from you. And taking the title from you is going to prove it. This isn't personal, but I will hurt you and take that title from you at Battle Tested. Twisted lets PDG know that the respect is mutual, and he is sure that PDG will give him a tough match. And just like you, PDG, even though the respect is mutual, I will be going all out to keep this title and walk out of our first pay-per-view Battle Tested as still HKW World Champion. You can count on that. Man, I can't wait to see these two get it on for the world title. This should be a good contest for the Women's World Championship. Lolo has seemed unstoppable in her few appearances, and Calamity has been hard-nosed since the Mega Clash, as well as in her 2 singles victories. Can't wait to see her and Tamiri tackle the tag division too. But tonight was for the Women's World title, and if anyone could be considered a threat to Lolo's reign, I would put Calamity up there. This was truly a hard-hitting match that started off with Calamity laying it into Lolo while avoiding the champion's grasps. This strategy was paying off. It kept Calamity on the offensive for the majority of the match. But no matter what Calamity threw at her, Lolo kept coming. And eventually, Lolo got the advantage and delivered some devastating power moves. The end is starting to look near. After a finisher, Lolo covers Calamity and to her surprise, only gets a 2 count. Shocked but unfazed, Lolo picks up Calamity and delivers a second finisher. But instead of pinning her, she decides to go to the top rope and land the final knockout blow, which Calamity avoids. Lolo hits the mat hard. Calamity, seeing this as her opportunity to deliver her signature move. Lolo is down! Lolo is down! OMG! Could Calamity really do this? Strange, but BECCA almost seems happy on the outside. Calamity covers Lolo. The ref begins to count. 1, 2, no! Lolo kicks out. Calamity appears to have gotten a second win and continues the assault on Lolo. Tamiri cheers her on, telling Calamity that she's got this. But just like that, in an instant, everything changes. Calamity leaves herself open and Lolo lands a shot that almost knocks her out. Lolo picks up Calamity, delivers 2 finishers, and gets the win. Lolo is still your Women's World Champion, which most likely means she will walk into Battle Tested as the champion. See you next week, y'all!